Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. You're joining us on the stream. Oh,
I don't like change.
probably just a gremlin in the system. Perhaps a metaphor for.
No, I think my internet just turned off and back on again,
I think that happened as
which
well.
always makes things better.
The stream's just kind of started. Hey, Bass, welcome.
Cool.
Anyway.
I am Tom. As I said, we're going to be looking at, because Halloween is right around the corner, we're going to be looking at the things that used to scare us when we were children. So, all sorts of things. It could be irrational fears, rational fears. I don't know. Things that
Those
we
are
saw
the two
on
types
telly.
of fears, really, aren't they?
That's
Yeah,
both
just
of them. Yeah, you nailed
that's
it.
it. That's the main groups, isn't it? The main food groups when it comes to fears. Yeah.
Duncan's
Right.
turned his ghost on as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's very
That's a thing
nice.
that happened.
So yeah, I guess we just get into this. Like, you know, we've done the introductions. We know what we're going to talk about. Let's just get into this.
Yeah, just a
Halloween's
quick
right
one.
around
These
the
things
corner.
work.
Just a quick one. The stream's frozen a bit. I know that much, but
It will catch up. I think my internet glitched out. But it's all showing green now. So give it, a little moment, and it should be
45
sorted out.
minutes. Yeah, should come back.
It looks like it's running all right. I've just loaded it up.
All right, Tom, don't show off.
All right, Dan.
So,
shit
hang
your
on,
pants.
so Dan is watching it, Tom is watching it, so we've got at least two viewers.
Yeah.
I keep it on to monitor the comments.
Me too.
But yeah, if Dan's doing that, then I'm just going to close that window.
I'll look after the comments. You concentrate on hosting, babes, all right?
All right. So, as I said, we're going to be looking at things that used to scare us when we were kids. Like, I mean, I think we could just do this with a big kind of like free-for-all thing. We don't necessarily have to go around the room. Does anyone want to just start us off? Let's start this ball rolling and see how it kind of goes. Let's pod au naturel. Let's go pod a cappella. You know?
Gonna go in heavy, but
He's
I think we
17.
can all-
That's going to be my guess by the hand movements there.
He's 17.
Nightmare.
He
So
used
when
to
the thunder
scare
calls me from
shit
the
out
mountain
of me when I was
high,
little.
Yeah.
So nightmare,
steam.
because
Sorry.
like the end. When the kids fail,
Yeah.
you're like, what's happened to them?
Fuck me, you're right.
That
Yes.
is terrifying. That I used to love it. It was brilliant. But the face peeling away to leave a skull, and the skull's just vanishing. You're like, whoa, what's
Let
that
him eat.
about?
He's starving to death.
It was quite metal, wasn't it? All of it. Like, we need some sort of timer. A skull defleshing in the corner of the screen. Yeah, I can't think any other way of representing 20 seconds left on a clock.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
You're right. It was pretty scary that they left those kids in that room with that paedophile. But yeah, sure.
he was not a paedophile.
He
I'll
was
be
not.
so obs-
Traegard was not a bit.
By the standards of the time, it's a non-zero possibility that there were 3 to 8 pedos on the crew of that show. That's just the reality of TV made in the 80s.
Fucking hell. Thanks to our sponsors this week, by the way,
What, Fleshlight?
Nightmare, which is making it real.
who are tearing their contracts up as we speak.
They did a new episode of Nightmare a few years ago on YouTube,
They did,
but like
indeed.
with proper Traegard in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I agree, though, Duncan. So any time they're in a room with a giant spider, or they fell down like a crevasse or
Or you
something, I was
hear-
like, "What the fuck?"
Or you hear the
Those poor
dong,
kids.
and
Yeah.
there's this dark night.
kids
or
heard the dong.
It's just like, oh my god.
But you never saw if the kid died, you didn't see him again.
No.
No.
It was like, oh, and he would always do his whole like, your friend is lost to nightmare. Like
Bye then.
Yeah. Where's
You have to go now.
Where's he
I need
gone?
new adventures.
Nah, he belongs to the BBC now. Yeah. Was Nightmare a BBC thing? Or?
ITV.
I think it was an
ITV.
ITV thing.
Like Golden Age ITV. ITV had that, and they had round the Bend as well, which was fucking great.
They'd probably be all right then if they were at
Round the
ITV
Bend.
towers
Bloody
rather than.
brilliant.
Round the Bend, yeah, and Art Attack was ITV as well, wasn't it? Which was also fucking great as well.
I used to have stress streams. This is one of the things that, funnily enough, this is one of the things that I didn't really think about at the time, but did scare me when I was a kid. I used to have stress dreams about having to go into school and creating like one of those big ground-based artworks that Neil Buchanan would make, that I would not be able to find the materials that were required.
Such a
was
weird,
really-
like
was
anxiety
That
dream.
really shows the difference.
Oh god,
I never
Neil
worried
Buchanan's
about
trying to
that.
make me find 400 feet of
I can't
ribbon.
find any dry pasta. There's no
I
skipping.
don't have that many umbrellas, Neil Buchanan. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
He's going to art attack me.
yeah. I'm having an heart attack.
I can't do a self-portrait the size of
Help,
Shropshire.
help, I'm having an heart attack. Yeah, but no, it was really stressful, and it was always accompanied with this bizarre thing that in the dream I was able to fly before I had to start making the artwork, and then when being able to fly and hover above the big artwork would have been quite useful, I couldn't do it. So
Just the theme tune, just did it, just rolling around in your head. Constantly,
exactly, just
as
like
you're trying to get on with something.
just like Spandau Ballet in that comic strip, one with the salesman gets stuck on loop. Always believe, always gold.
We've lost Tom to Alan Partridge.
It was those were stressful dreams. But then, to be fair, I used to find things like Trapdoor quite scary.
Oh yeah,
Trapdoor was quite creepy.
Count
yeah.
Duckula as well.
Yeah, Count
Dracula
Duckula was. Sorry,
started off spooky, but like the intro is great. I don't think I ever found Trapdoor scary, but maybe a bit tingly because of what came out. But I've tried them on the boys. The boys love Trapdoor, but they are horror fiends. They just like the weirdest, spookiest shit.
Wonder why.
I don't. They're like, let's play zombie. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Your father's got an irrational fear of zombies, and all you want to do is do zombies on TV and stuff. Yeah. Oh, Mum, can you do your... Emma can do a really good impression
Can we
of
just
the...
point out that Duncan is currently taking the piss out of his own kids?
thing
Yeah.
is though, like
Duncan
I think
did.
Tom is so proud of Vinny.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm thinking Phil's an idiot, so, you know...
I'm sure he's not.
Everyone feels that way about their
He
kids
is.
sometimes.
there were times when I thought the same about Vinny, I have to say.
You watch them trying to do something, you're like,
Are you
God, maybe
for
maybe
real?
I did catch his head on that banister that time.
Yeah, there was definitely a sound like a hazelnut falling on the floor.
If I hit him hard enough again, maybe he'll knock some sense.
Hey, anyway.
Jesus Christ.
So,
So no, but the thing is though, like kind of like it's not a pet fear, is it? I guess, but what so Duncan, your thing, zombies, right?
And we will get into why, but not now. Maybe later.
I've got two ends of the spectrum here. I've got an entirely boring answer, and I've got a really one that will bring you back to a particular period of time that I think you'll all feel the same about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want that one first?
Yeah.
Colour me interested.
Okay. When I went to school, I couldn't throw a javelin properly because of a single episode of 999 where someone threw a javelin through their own jaw.
I remember that one.
Oh my god!
Right?
Yeah.
999 was the most terrifying. Be careful of railings with spikes.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything was a hazard. I'm going to throw in as well, watching Crime Watch, and them ending, don't have nightmares. I fucking will.
Like,
You told me
that
about all
was
the murders that are
genuinely
out.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Just like everything would end. The episodes would always end. It was don't have nightmares.
Don't have
wasn't it?
nightmares. It's like,
Yeah. And just remember, ladders around every corner, waiting.
That was 999, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Burke was just like the harbinger of fear. But yeah, one episode, I as a result, I never threw a javelin properly ever again because I was so
I
scared.
don't know if any of us are
leaning
throwing a
back
javelin properly to start with, but yeah.
and then just wedging it into my jaw, which is something that happened in 999. It's so improbable, looking back at it, and it's so stupid that you could do that. But still, it scared the living daylights out of me.
No, that's a good one.
I mean,
that's a
the
good
railway
one.
safety about, I think it was in the Science Museum or something.
Yeah.
There was this whole thing of what happens when your heartbeat races. And they had a video, and it was always something gruesome, like child falling into the water and electrocution. And the train safety videos were always terrifying.
So
It's been
I've
so
got one of
effective.
It's
Yeah, go on,
kind of
Ross.
it's not quite that. So we had this as an assembly at primary school, and there was like a man from the railways came in to tell us not to play on the railways and everything. And we got all the normal stuff to scare you. One that was particularly memorable was that he reported that apparently somebody had electrocuted themselves by pissing off of a railway
Yes!
bridge and getting
Yeah, onto
exploded.
power
One can
lines.
only imagine sort of dick first, which you was thinking like it must be very quick, but you can imagine that time just sort of slows down when you've got this like arc of 20,000 volts racing
Right.
up your stream towards your urethra,
No,
and then
no,
you sort of feel
that's-
yourself being exploded apart,
dick
kind of groin
from the
first.
dick up.
From the dick up
That's
and down and out.
that's
And it's
really
just like
interesting.
sort of a flash and a bang, and then sort of a perfectly cooked little chipolata lands on the pavement, and that's all that's left of you.
Yeah.
But that's not the bit that really scared. So it was all sort of like the normal stuff. But the bit really stuck in my head was he demonstrated like if you got your foot stuck between two rails when the points switched, like
Oh my god.
the force of those is like it probably wouldn't like crush your foot or anything, but you're not getting out of there. And he's like, it's okay, because all you've got to do, only thing you've got to do, is make sure that you lean away from the train so that it slices your foot off nice and cleanly. And everyone was just like,
What the hell?
Oh,
and we were 7
assembly?
maybe at the time.
What assembly was this? And now we've got a man to talk about some horrendous things that might happen to you on the train
Pretty much.
lines.
Pretty much, yeah. It was the 80s.
Like, so nothing about, Britain's infrastructure, one of the jewels in its crown is the train lines, established in, no, it's
no, it was a railway.
Tom, you just went
don't
full fucking
piss on the
partridge
power
there.
lines.
You
Yeah.
just went full fucking partridge at that
I
one point.
know, I'm
we're talking late 80s, early 90s. There was nothing dual in the crown about the British White Railway then.
Yeah, it was. This was still British Rail time. It was bad times.
Everything. It's never been good.
I'm gonna throw another interruption in here and bring up this picture, which you won't be able to see, but I'll send to you later. This will ruin Nightmare for you because this is what it actually looked like. I'll send it to you guys later.
don't do it. I know what you're going to do. I've seen it before.
Anyway,
So
What
the
have I done?
audience
What
can
have I
see
done?
it,
What
can
have I
they?
done? I've done something stupid. No, that one. Right, there we go. I started playing the music again.
No, I've just seen it. No.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't.
not what you wanted. That's a shame, isn't it? But never mind.
So I haven't
what it
seen it. This is why I don't have it open.
I will. I'll send it. I'll send it around to everyone afterwards. But yeah, that's what it actually looked like.
I don't like it.
Was it just? Oh, all right. Okay, no, don't worry about it. No, it's like right. So, wait. So, which was the bit that terrified you? Was it the stuff on? Was it the stuff that might happen if you fuck around with the train stuff, or was it?
It was
that assembly?
It was specifically that, like, the idea that you're sitting there with your foot trapped in a point, knowing for certain that your two options are get flattened by a train or have a train slice your leg off.
Slice your foot off. The P one. I remember at school there was the you guys might have had this one as well. There was that kind of thing that went around where people went, oh, you should never wee into a canal or a stream because there are little like really small fish that will swim up your piss, and then when they get inside your penis, they'll put out these spikes. That's what they do, and then they lay their eggs. Yeah, but of course it happened. It became this thing where like, oh, never ever piss into water. Because otherwise those things are going to swim up your piss. And so that for me was an irrational thing. I was always really careful. Like, oh my god, that's not a puddle, is it? Oh shit. If I was having a wild wee somewhere, that was a bit of an irrational fear.
Wild weekend, so to speak.
A wild
So-
wee. Yeah.
Similar, and this is going to shock Dan and Russ to their core.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. I obviously like sharks quite a lot and fish. Don't know if anyone's ever noticed. So, two things. I didn't always like paddling or going. I always enjoyed snorkeling, but but I didn't always like walking because I learnt about the lesser weaver fish, which has deadly little spines. Well, not deadly, but really poisonous. And the way the book said is they lurk in the sand and people can accidentally stand on them because they don't swim away. They do swim away,
yeah.
so it turns out. But it wasn't until I was 21 years old that I saw one and they just dart away. However, I used to wig myself out. I love sharks, but I would get scared swimming thinking a shark was going to come and eat me. And so I would always only snorkel for a short while, and then get out of water. My mum and dad never knew. The reason why I got out of the water was I convinced myself there was a big shark about to come and eat me, and I didn't want to leave.
I think that's
So-
a fairly rational fear, man. Like, I think
No.
that's like. To
No,
you,
it's
it
not. I
probably
knew
isn't.
better. I knew
To you,
better even at the
probably, yeah,
time, but no,
most people-
it's still a thing. It's like I will wig myself out in the water, even though I know I'm being daft, and have generally convinced myself it's a fine way to go. But I will still wig myself out about it, and it was a thing. And I love sharks, and the only reason why I did marine biology was because I wanted to study sharks, and yet vaguely don't want to get eaten by one.
Thing is, though, I find that very, very rational because even though I'm a keen surfer and I love going down to the beaches in South Wales and getting on boards and all that sort of stuff, if I go too deep, that's when I start to freak out. And I think it's is it thalassophobia? That is the sort of the phobia of
Thalassophobia.
really deep water or like things from the unknowable depths. It's like how can I was snorkeling in Lanzarote once in a sort of one of the sort of harboury areas, and I went under the water, and if I could, like, the little sort of harboury area where all the boats were tied up and stuff where I was snorkeling, you could see the bottom, but as it got out towards the sea past the sort of breakwaters, it all just dropped away and you couldn't see the bottom, and it was that freaks me so much. So it's weird when I'm on a board, I'm fine. If I come off the board when I'm out there, yeah, it's just I don't know what happens. Like I panic slightly and I have to flip it back in.
The
Like-
thing is, when I'm diving, proper scuba diving, never had an issue. And I've been this close to, I've had my face in the face of a shark, and I've also been in the water with a bull shark because we saw it and it swam off. And they're like one of the most dangerous sharks in the world, and they do eat people. But that didn't bother me. But snorkeling or bobbing along the surface worries me. So there you go. And that it's not so bad now, but it was a thing. And by the way, I'm talking about up until, in all of this, I might be talking up until we turned 18 because there's many things that get me up until then, and then probably continue to this day. But
No, I just think that's fairly rational, dude. I think you're allowed to be scared of sharks. They look scary, whether they
are scary.
actually are or not. Yeah, like they do look like scary. And I know you know better because you're Mr. Sea Mammal, dude. But like, it's
Seaman.
See, just wanted to get that one in. See if I could just slip that one in.
I would be scared being in the water with dolphins.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, dolphins will
they
mug
would-
you.
Scared of what I'd do to them?
Dolphins, they're just like sharks with a better PR team. They are arseholes.
They are assholes.
That they also would know that I don't like them because they're emotionally intelligent and be just like, we know.
But you do know that when
And
they're
not
making
raping.
love to you, that they're enjoying it.
No, it's raping. They're just raping.
All right, let's not say that too loud on YouTube, shall we? But
Well,
like,
dolphins might.
Yes.
They're known for doing it.
I
Not
know.
people, but other dolphins.
But yeah, no, okay. So in this situation where it's sort of consensual, if you go on swimming with them, one of them might make love to you. So, but they'll enjoy it, and they'll want you to enjoy it too, because they're the sort of they're one of the other animals that, alongside humans, that have sex for pleasure, right?
Them, yeah, quite a few higher apes do.
Yeah. I just love that. Oh, I could swing around in the tree for a bit, or
Bonobos love a bit of
fancy a
cheeky bum
shag?
sex.
Not where I expected this episode.
Childhood. I was always scared into an ape enclosure. No, I'm kidding. That's not where we're going with that one. No, okay, so yeah, okay, childhood fears. Where I went to school when I was younger, like sort of primary age, the grounds were quite big, and we were allowed to, once you got to a certain age, I think you had to be sort of over, I think it was over 11 years old, you were allowed to, if you wanted to on your lunchtime, like you could play in the big fields and stuff around the school, like the sort of playground areas. But there were some woods. They were on the ground. There was like barbed wire and fences, but they felt enormous. I've gone back since and realised that they were probably about the size of a football pitch, like, and very easy to traverse from one side to the other. But when I was a little lad, they felt like fucking Narnia, you know, like there was a threat around every corner. It was very dense. It was really scary. And I have to admit, most other people were absolutely fine with it. I found it really scary going into those woods. It always felt like they just went on forever, and that if we went too far, we'd get lost. And that was my fear. My fear was that we would get, and being a bit of a goody two shoes back then, I was terrified of getting lost, and also terrified of not getting back to school in time and getting in trouble. And that was always a big motivator for me to sort of get out of the woods as quick as possible and be like, oh, we don't need to go any further. But as I said, gone back since, realised actually quite small. Like,
4 trees.
yeah, so yeah, 7 to 8 trees. They just felt a lot bigger.
During our A levels, for A level geography, I did mapping a wood, my local wood, and I mean, yes, it's not that big, but it was still big enough. The thing is, I had watched Sleepy Hollow, not the scariest of movies,
But still,
but still a good. The Headless Horseman is great. Because it's Christopher Walken, isn't it?
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
There we
That was
go.
brilliant.
We can back up now. I think we've hit every podcast stereotype by doing a Christopher Walken impression there. So
There we go.
No, it's all
you
of them
haven't done
done
Adam
now, so-
Driver.
Oh, is that? Oh, do I need to go to the toilet? Have we got a special guest? No, we
have
don't.
we?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
Yeah. Hi there, guys. Christopher Walken.
That's
No, see that's like the nadir of that's when we know this podcast is done.
well, that's when we know we've run out of ideas because like everyone does
I know.
a Walken impression at some point.
But Ewan McGregor,
No one does a Ewan McGregor impression, Tom.
no one does that. That's true.
And
Still our
I,
thing.
Well, we
I
wouldn't
actually-
need to. Why would we need to do a Ewan McGregor impression when we've
I
got...
suppose
Well, we
true,
actually have them on the
Yeah.
pod.
yeah,
This is true. Yeah.
Ewan McGregor.
I look forward to seeing James Gurnlist in writing at some point.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Maybe
wouldn't
for GB News.
Yeah, I'll get back in touch. I'll give him a text.
it? Oh, you guys still in contact with him then?
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll just
we had an
email.
archery weekend.
Yeah, it was quite.
Did you?
Quite good actually. Yeah, well, we've
I
had a
didn't-
couple actually.
I must have missed. I didn't get an email or anything.
Oh, I
Did
didn't
you not?
realise you weren't on.
We,
do stuff
we
on
use-
WhatsApp these days.
Yeah, and Google Chat.
I haven't seen anything in that WhatsApp group.
We Snapchat quite a lot. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So.
Dead joke. But still funny in my
Yeah,
eyes.
still-
It's still funny to me.
It's still, I always feel so bad when because like, I never want you to be.
He's not real, Tom. They
I
know.
know
That.
what.
Whoa,
What?
sorry.
He's
Whoa,
so
sorry.
real.
Oh, it's just you with a wig on.
It's not. That one picture when I was wearing a pink wig and a hat. It was a straw hat, wasn't it? I don't even know what those things are now.
Doing a James Gurnlist impression because he's very real.
Doing it
obviously.
exactly, yeah, exactly. He's like a Lord Byron-esque character. It's,
Obviously, yeah.
Childhood fears.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Ghosts to this day still. I'm convinced I saw some shit when I was a younger kid.
I can go one further than that. Does anyone remember the BBC one-off mockumentary, I suppose it was, called Ghost Watch?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy
Absolutely terrifying.
yes. Because it was like, oh, look, that's Sarah Green. I know her from Breakfast TV with Gordon the Gopher. And when I was a kid, oh my God, there's a ghost in the house that she's in. Someone get her out of there, please. Someone, please get her out of there.
Yeah.
Because they used like presenters rather than actors.
It was.
Crazy.
I love ghost stories,
Mm.
and I mean, even to this day, I love reading them. But I agree, ghosts. There was I mean, this was more secondary school, but I'm counting secondary school, because we were still children. And got quite into reading various different stories, and the one that sticks with me, I've sort of had to look it up on the internet, is something called a bogle, because it's a Scottish. What I didn't realise was bogles were Scottish, but anyway,
Isn't that a dance?
no. And there's something
Bogling.
called the death bogle, and it was usually just appears as this like white kind of column of light.
Oh God.
But if you see one on the corner of the road, it will just keep on chasing. The story was it kept on chasing you. If it touched you, it would vanish, but you would die in 7 days. And that was one of the most terrifying. The story was terrifying. The whole concept was terrifying. And like, it was just at the age where you go, I don't really want to walk down anywhere, because you're like, I'm gonna see a death bogle. I gotta look out for bogle.
But I think when you're a kid, it becomes that kind of morbid fascination thing. I remember there was a book that my grandfather had, which was like a big sort of almanac kind of thing that was like ghost sightings and paranormal and all that sort of stuff, and it went through like ESP and all
They
that
did great.
and
A lot for sports.
that's ESPN. the and I remember there was that picture, that very famous picture of the monk ghost coming down the stairs. No, standing by the altar, with its sort of dark eyes, kind of looking at the camera, and the one with the person's mother in the back seat of the car. And I remember being absolutely transfixed by that sort of stuff. And then I'm pretty sure I saw something when I was probably about 11 or 12. I was sitting in my bedroom at our old house in Chorley Wood, and a very fast moving but unmistakable white figure walked past my bedroom window, which was a bay window in our back garden, by the way. And it's one of those like out the corner of your eye things, but I saw it more than once. Like, and it wasn't a net curtain or anything like that. I just could not explain it, but there was definitely something walked past my window. But it wasn't my mum, my dad. You know what I mean? There was always a thing. But at the time, I didn't really kind of think. It's probably actually, funnily enough, it's something that I was kind of aware and probably a bit scared, but didn't really think too much of it because I was a kid. But it's only now in like later life I'm a bit like, I'm pretty sure I saw a thing. And also the bottom half of that garden was like behind trees. It fucking felt wrong down there. It just felt wrong. Like, it felt lovely and sunny and warm up the top half, but it felt cold, and my sister and I were fucking terrified of going down the back of the garden. Absolutely terrified. And there was just weird stuff down there. There was like kind of what looked like a big it looked like a hot air balloon shaped wire frame, big thing that had kind of been pushed over at the bottom, like into a rubbish pit, and it was surrounded by compost heaps and stuff. But it was just weird, and it was cold, and the shed down there was just looked like a monster that was going to eat us. Yeah, and even to this day, we've seen pictures of the house from the air. It still looks colder down the bottom of the garden. But yeah, and just ghosts in general.
Well,
Scary fuck.
So what scared you when you were a kid?
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking pop culture stuff, really.
Oh.
But you know, if you want
right.
to go like down like a route of like that as well, that's absolutely fine.
Another one.
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Oh fuck yeah! This was the obvious one I was going to get to. Doctor Who scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I mean,
Sea Devils.
choose it. The sea devils.
Everyone's got their own one. Hang on, 1 sec.
Sea devils is that the hemivores where they come out of the water and they turn everyone?
Mm-hmm.
So
With the gun thing in their hand.
no, they just had the long nails, and they were basically vampires. And they turned everyone into the sea devils is a different one. It was the hemivores then, but the hemivores came out of the water. It's these sisters. Happiness Patrol. I mean, the 80s, like
This was the most terrifying thing I think I experienced when I was a kid. This was like an evil Bertie Bassett robot, and it scared the ever living shit out of me.
But it was so stupid, but it was still really scary.
Yeah, that's Doctor Who all over. It's still, and that's one of the geniuses of Doctor Who. Like when it's done right, it's dumb, but fuck, is it scary? So yeah,
I'm pretty sure. No, the Sea Devils weren't that. The Sea Devils were there's another one which was the hemivores, which came out of the water. And they were started off as two sisters, and they just started converting people, and they had these long fingernails and stuff. And there was the bit in the episode where basically everyone is trapped on a tower in a church. If you want to know where my fear of zombies came from, it was from exactly that episode, because
Doctor
I
Who.
had nightmares for like a week after that. I mean, then the other one that caused me to have nightmares for a week also was watching Aliens when I was 11, which was not a good idea. But yeah, Doctor Who, them and Cybermen, because Cybermen were always terrifying.
yeah.
Like the whole conversion thing. Up until, Doctor Who generally, weeping angels. I mean, admittedly, that's quite modern, but weeping angels are terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah, like you are a fully grown adult, but you respect that, like, what Doctor Who is. It's there to scare the shit out of people at a safe time for kids to watch it. That's kind of what it's there for. So
Save time.
I never found the Daleks, for example, to be that scary.
I didn't, and then they gave them the hover thing, and I was like, "Fuck, now I'm terrified." Yeah.
And then as soon as they had the ability to climb stairs, that was when I got a bit annoyed and a bit scared of them. I found Davros as an image to be odd, a bit unsettling with his weird eyes and melty face and all that kind of stuff. That was fucking freaky. But yeah, it was always the incidental stuff. It was the things like the Sea Devils and kind of the unknowable sort of the other monster of the week or whatever it was. Those were the ones that always got me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and Weeping Angels as well. I can't go to graveyards now and cemeteries without seeing them statues.
Curse of Fenric.
Yes, Duncan. Yeah, that one was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
That was
And they all come out and people convert, and it's a zombie apocalypse without it being zombies.
Yeah, but I totally agree. All of these are. Doctor Who was designed to scare us. Like
It did a really bloody good job.
It did. I've got that one somewhere up there as well. But yeah, Curse of Fenric. Yeah, just especially like Sylvester McCoy run, I think was like a sweet spot of terrifying and also somewhat entertaining, but mostly terrifying. So
I loved Sylvester McCoy as Doctor Who.
he's my Doctor Who. He was the one that I grew up on. So, like, is he as good as probably any of the new ones? Probably not. But like, I still loved him. Like, I'd still probably rank him behind. Like,
Well, he didn't have to do, like, the thing is, in the Sylvester McCoy ones, he was just sort of like
himself
doing the plans, and he was great. And then it was always his companion. It was Ace who did all the action.
Ace was excellent as well. Yeah.
But yeah, Cybermen in that as well were scary. Everything about it was, and I loved it. Well, not hemivores. I was absolutely terrified.
But yeah, no, Doctor Who was really scary. Like, it was a bit later on, but like, I think we should mention the X-Files as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Tombs
The
is
one-
the sort of the classic one that everyone got really freaked out by. Wasn't that only like the second episode or something?
something like that. Yeah, I remember I'd convinced myself to watch it again, and like, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And then Tombs. I'm like, fuck, no, it's not all right. I don't love this.
First season, episode 21.
Which one's that?
That's Tombs.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 21
right,
episodes in.
But it was in the first series.
First series, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a follow-up episode which was called Stretch.
Yeah, that's really
Oh,
Yeah, which is very good.
Which one's Tombs?
It's the guy
Tombs
that
is
can,
the
like,
one.
He can stretch himself, and
Yeah.
fitting
they find like a fingerprint that's like 5 centimeters long, don't they?
Yeah.
And he's like a weird genetic sort of anomaly who sort of hibernates for 30 years, comes back, kills 3 or 4 people, eats their livers, and then goes back into hibernation in his nest. And
So
he
he's like the
builds a
basis
nest.
of lots of like myths and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always him coming back every so often.
And just that whole idea of government conspiracies, like X-Files kind of introduced me to that idea that there's always something, there's a bigger fish looking over the shoulder of the
Yeah.
people that you think are in charge, and not for good reasons.
I think half the fear of the X-Files was worrying about the well-being of the 2 main characters as well.
Mm.
Because they were always not on the run, but they were always being watched. And I think that is half the fear, is like this idea that it's so tense. The whole series is so fucking tense. It's so well done.
You
Love
go
the
back
episode.
now and you just go, wow, Gillian Anderson, you're an amazing actor. I mean, she was amazing then, and then
Fabulous.
she just remains amazing.
Gillian Anderson gave me some stirrings at a young age, so yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I mean, to be
One of my
fair,
first
this,
crushes.
Yeah.
this household has a firm crush on Gillian Anderson.
She's got hotter. That's what
Yes.
she is. She is. Gillian Anderson is gorgeous. I
Gillian
love Gillian
Anderson
Anderson.
is gorgeous.
To be fair, though, I got to say, David Duchovny gave me some of my early.
Oh yeah.
But the
More
thing is,
fluid
both of them were
stirrings.
He's
brilliant.
aged quite nicely as well, hasn't he?
He's
Yeah,
aged
yes.
fabulously.
He's a very-
Honestly, he's
He's
still
a handsome man.
Anyone watch Californication?
yes.
A bit
Fucking
sort of-
Mainly
love
because I
Californication.
quite fancy David Duchovny.
Yeah, me too. Californication is A, excellent, and B, hilarious, and C,
Yeah.
David Duchovny is probably at his hottest in that series. So
And also, like, Evolution is still one of the funniest.
fucking
films.
Evolution.
He's brilliant, and he's brilliant in it.
He is
Just
so good,
because
isn't he?
He's a parody of.
Especially when he's all uniformed up.
He's just
Amazing
in on the
Evolution.
joke, especially when he's all uniformed up. I love that, Tom.
I don't know if Evolution is like good, but it's certainly enjoyable.
It is. I
so-
definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, it gets a firm good from me.
Yeah. Solid
Solid
7
7
out
out
of
of
10.
10.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think of other things that were kind of like.
Well, I mean, sticking with the X-Files, there was one which was the fungus infection one, where the fungus rips out of your throat
Ugh.
to infect everyone.
Is that one where they're in the woods?
No, they're in the cave system. It's an underground cave system, and it's a research, and they're going, why, what's happening here? And then there's another one where there was this alien creature that seemed to come out and attack people, and this man just went, ah, and this thing comes out like this.
My favourite
And
is
then funnily enough,
the one with Bryan Cranston in, where there's some Navy communications system using like ultra low frequency sound. It like does something to people's ears, and basically you have to keep moving in a certain direction or your head will explode with like this sort of sonic pressure that builds up. So it's this like he's like in a car with Bryan Cranston, and he can't stop driving because if he does, Bryan Cranston's head will explode. It's really good, and you see a few people's heads explode. It's gross.
It's the one that always gets me is the Inbred Family. That one I really like, and also the Firestarter, which is Mark Sheppard, and also the guy who can control electricity, which was what's his name?
That guy that's in loads of stuff.
Yeah, but also Jack Black was in it as well. So X-Files was fucking great, and also utterly terrifying. Weird one that used to scare me. Red Dwarf used to scare me at times.
Really?
Legion scared the shit out of me.
Legion
Yeah, it
is-
did. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it would just like go quite serious sci-fi.
Yep. Also the
Polymorph.
Yes.
Where they got the straws. I mean, as silly as it was also where they're sucking out the brains.
I know
the
that's
one
not you,
where-
Pete Trance's sister.
Oh no, we're the girl from Channel 9.
You can't see what she's doing with her pointy stick.
The episode as well where is it Mr. Flibbles?
Oh, no.
That scared the
quarantine
shit
room.
out of me.
Yeah, that is scary. Like it's
Yeah.
just somebody going nuts from solitary confinement, pretty much. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that scared me as well. Red Dwarf at times.
The
scared me.
simulants scared me.
We can't
Yeah.
do that, Mr. Flibble. Who would clean up the mess?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I
Yeah,
wasn't in on the joke at that time. I was too young, so it was just terrifying.
No, the rogue simulants scared me, and also the agonoids from the novels. The ones that basically the soldier droids that have all all their rubber skins and stuff have perished, so they now have
Yeah.
like razor sharp teeth, and that one very clever one constructs almost a kind of death trap gauntlet thing, so that the plan being that once they capture Lister, only the strongest agonoid will get the honor to torture him to death forever.
Yeah.
Which I always found quite
So 90s now, looking back at it, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're right about Legion. Legion is a scary individual, especially when his mask falls off and you see his face,
Yeah.
and it's the weird sort of Picasso-esque sort of collage of the four characters. Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah. That scared the living shit out of me, that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's really cool.
Sigourney
Like,
Weaver's.
quite a cool sci-fi concept as well, like
Yeah.
a combined an
Yeah.
entity of combined personalities.
Yeah.
And also that like he says, like, I am your rage and self-loathing multiplied and magnified many, many, many times. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even your pathetic intelligence, when magnified, makes me a genius, you know,
Yeah.
beyond your comprehension. I mean, that whole thing is scary, that the entity is so, even using Lister and the cat, you know, and Rimmer and Crichton's knowledge, like, he's just way beyond their capabilities. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver's fridge from Ghostbusters and her kitchen scared the living shit out of me for
Both
very
Ghostbusters.
many years.
I was
Both
going to.
Ghostbusters movies.
And the
I will.
painting,
I will. No, it's not the painting that
the
scared me.
granny.
Yes, there we go. It's fucking the person who runs the museum dressed as fucking Mary Poppins going to steal a baby.
Yep.
That scared the shit out of me. And followed by him just walking down a corridor with his eyes lighting up for no real reason whatsoever. I've got a real thing with eyes, and that scared the living daylights out of me. I hated that.
Yeah.
I think we went to the cinema to see it, which was a bad idea.
Yeah, I went to cinema to see it as well.
The train, when they're going down the train, the
ghost train.
old abandoned, and watching it now is like, how? All right, it's not as scary as I remember.
It's funny now.
At the time, it was
Yeah.
one of the most terrifying things, especially when all the heads also pop out, going, "Rah," and you're like, "Rah." But yeah,
I got-
Ego.
I got a
Ego.
couple of like irrational ones. Cocoon, the film Cocoon, scares the living daylights out of me, and it's not really a scary film, but it's the bits where they kind of glow, and all you see is their eyes, and that
Is it
just affected me as a kid. I couldn't tell you why.
sticking with kind of things like that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, not totally. Every aspect of War of the Worlds, the Jeff Wayne version, that used to terrify me, and I still love it. I mean, the music is brilliant, everything about
It's-
it. But it's the very ending of the audio version
Yeah.
of the Jeff Wayne's version.
It's well, there's no hope for the planet in that version.
No, because
At that
it's like,
point,
"Bing, Houston, can you, Pasadena, can you hear me? Bing,
yeah.
anyone, can you hear me? Bing."
It's
And you're
so
like,
good.
"Ah."
It's so good. It is. I love it so much. War of the Worlds. I could listen to that pretty much any time. Russ, do I tell them about the personal experience that you, me, and our old flatmate had with War of the Worlds, or would you like rather that was kept
I'm
secret?
pretty sure we've covered that already, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
What
We
was
had
it?
We had a moment. That's all
Didn't
need
you
to know.
all? Is this the story where you were all lying on the floors?
It's not that fascinating a story. We camped one night, which meant sleeping in the corridor instead of in our rooms, and we thought it would be good that we'd get a good restful night's sleep if we had the War of the World soundtrack blasting out all night. Turns out we were wrong.
Yeah, we
Yes.
didn't sleep particularly well, but we did make an experience. So made a memory. So that's the most important thing, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm with you, Duncan. I mean, it's the that little no, no,
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that's so fucking good.
yeah,
When the initial kind of like burst of like everything kind of calms down and you get to the reality of what's happening, and it's like they're fucked. They are so beyond fucked. It's crazy now.
and it's the red weed.
Yeah.
Creepy. Oh my god, it's. Yeesh. I mean, okay, the Tom Cruise movie is not a bad interpretation.
I don't hate the Tom Cruise movie. I know a lot of people do. I don't hate it. I think it's fine. Saw a good
alright.
horror film last
It's
night.
perfectly good.
no one would have believed in the last years of the
No one would have
19th
imagined
century.
in the
Yeah.
last few years.
Oh yeah,
Well,
there
no,
you go,
it's-
Tom. Fucking
It is
hell.
no, it's believed in the Jeff Wayne version.
It's imagined.
No
Russ,
one would have
you
believed.
adjudicate. Find out.
I'm looking at the transcript right now.
I
Are you?
can't be bothered.
Okay. Well, you're both right then, guys. Well done.
The
Congratulations.
human affairs
Maybe-
are being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets, and yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes, and slowly and surely they drew their plans against us.
Oh, it's so fucking good. I really want to do the experience. Apparently, it's really good.
I know.
That's badass.
I'm kind of wanting to ask tickets for that. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go quickly to computer games,
Yeah.
but just because they're early ones, like Doom. You first play Doom,
Yeah, Doom was quite
I
scary.
remember.
First few times play it.
and even Dark Forces. Like third level, when you're doing the swamp monster, that when you first come across swamp monsters, the sewer monsters that pop up and then suddenly go, bleh. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, true.
What's like the dying ogres in Star Wars?
Yeah. Sorry, I call them sewer monsters. Sorry.
I had
The trash
actually,
compactor monster.
Duncan,
I had a game on the I think it was a Commodore 64, an Aliens game, and it was a bit like Space Hulk. So you were in control of the whole
I
team.
think
So,
I played that.
Space
at
Hulk
my
was
mate's
also
house.
terrifying.
so this was like so you'd have to like get them through the rooms, and you had like it was one of those games that came with like an actual map, like that you'd fold out the map and go right, we are here, we've got to get to here, and then you'd hear the monitor go off, and you'd have to quickly get them out of the room before the alien turned up.
Yeah, a friend of mine had that game. It was
Scared
terrifying.
the shit out of me. That game did. Yeah.
I mean, Space Hulk also scared the shit.
Yeah, Space Hulk was scary. Gene Stealers are fucking scary. So
They still are.
I've got a game one that used to really shit me up.
yeah,
Treasure Island Dizzy on the Spectrum. So
Oh, we've got Treasure Island Dizzy on the Amiga.
this I used to get so scared playing this game because you only have one life.
Yeah.
So, and there are plenty of things that will just instantly kill you with very little warning, and that's it. You're starting the game again. And it
Spike.
was a little bit difficult to see exactly where you were standing. He's quite bouncy and floaty, and yeah, there's lots of like it's like an inventory item based puzzle game, but there's lots of like you've got to take this thing from this side of the map to this side of the map, and then this back to this side. So you've got to go over all these traps all the time, and it's fucking terrifying. And there's underwater bits. Underwater bits in games of that era always very scary. But this, so you didn't have like
you've
it
just
wasn't
awoken
like
something in me, Russ.
Sonic 2
Yes.
style, like running out of time. You had to pick up a snorkel that let you walk underwater. But the way your inventory worked was you can only carry 3 things, and if you pick up a new thing, you drop something. So if you weren't paying attention and you were underwater, you'd pick something up and drop your snorkel and instantly die. And there's no takesies backsies. That's it. You're game over. Start again. And I just found the whole experience so scary and so stressful. I would basically get to a certain point and then refuse to go any further and make my dad do it.
It was more that you would end up like if you land on the egg would break. You would just get egg everywhere. It was disturbing.
Yeah,
I
Dizzy was
on
a
the
poor
Spectrum.
choice of adventure.
The
really,
graphics
wasn't it?
didn't extend to the egg breaking. It just sort of
Oh,
stopped.
the Amiga was definitely gruesome.
Yeah.
I was going to jokingly put dizzy. It didn't really scar me, but it was. Looking back at it,
Treasure
it's
Island
pretty
was
horrendous.
proper scary.
Yeah,
I wasn't-
Treasure
I-
Island was good.
Hadn't
Yeah,
even
Crystal
thought about
Island
it,
as well.
but absolutely the labyrinth zone in Sonic now. Like, I've still not completed the first Sonic game because I was traumatized by Sonic drowning. Watching Sonic drown was too much for me. I couldn't do it anymore.
That
Let's
gives me
stop playing.
proper space vibes. She's drowning.
Yeah.
Is that the point of the game? That's what mood you're in. What mood are you in? I want to drown, thanks.
Yeah, that's very true. We should probably be wrapping this up soon. So, any more for any more?
What else do I have?
Event Horizon was.
Yeah, a little bit
terrifying.
older, but yeah,
I'm not really sure. The Raptors from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yep.
An unspecified serial killer police procedural thing that I sort of saw flashes of through the kitchen door when I was way too young, and that really shit me up. I don't know what it
Yeah,
was.
that's understandable. That would shit me up too.
Just generally the concept of like any sort of grate or opening or window in a pool. I used to imagine getting like sucked underwater into a dark pipe quite a lot.
Yeah, but again, I was going to say that that got to me because we had an assembly where someone said, "Don't go too close to those vents and stuff like that
Yeah.
because you
But
could
now
get
all
your
I can
toes
think about
stuck."
is Mac in Always Sunny talking about the kid that got his asshole sucked out through the.
And then at the end of the
bottom of the pool.
episode, it's him smiling,
Sitting
as he goes down to the bottom. Yeah, Matt, why are you
Yeah,
covered in
actually-
body glitter?
Actually, thinking back, there was an early young Sherlock Holmes movie.
That's an amazing
that-
movie.
It is, but also terrifying.
That
there are
movie
so many-
has the first fully CG character of anything.
Oh,
Like
Really?
but
yeah, the stained glass window knight
Oh yeah,
is the first like fully separate and articulated, completely CG character.
there was so many things in that were terrifying. I mean, I found it quite
Because it was like
scary.
it was like some sort of hallucinogen that people were being given, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So none of this
And
stuff was
then-
real, and they all basically panicked and ended up accidentally killing themselves.
Yeah. And
And there's some sort of crazy cult or something. Do you know what? I might watch
yeah,
that
because it was all
again. It's actually really good.
the scarab beetles. It was always looking at like if a scarab beetle was alive, and it was how
Scarabs.
Holmes met Watson as well.
So just dovetailing on scarabs, I was given by my grandmother when I was, I think, probably 12 or 13, an audio book of the novel of The Mummy, like the actual novel, not like a novelization of the Brendan Fraser film or anything like that, like which I can't imagine it was ever produced. But the actual thing, and it was incredibly well voice acted. And I remember thinking at 13, like, oh, this would be fine. Like, it's a classic and stuff like that. Oh my God, it's absolutely terrifying. Like the way it's described when Bellingham is lying in his bed, as the mummy is approaching him through the darkness in his own bedroom, and it's when the mummy is basically right next to his head, he screams out and hears it running away. Yeah, I think it's Bellingham. Whoever it is, it's the guy that owns isn't it? It's the rooms downstairs is the guy, and he ends up forcing the dude at gunpoint to hack the mummy to pieces and burn it, doesn't he? But yeah, it's fucking petrifying. It's such a scary book. It's not one to fall asleep to, because I used to love falling asleep to like books on tape. Yeah, don't do that one, kids. Mummy, no.
I mean, let's face it, the first Resident Evil game, terrifying. Never got anywhere with it because it was zombies. So I was like, nope. And Silent Hill, we had a
Second Silent
demo.
Hill.
Once again, a bit
no,
old for those ones.
First Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, teenagers, but still a kid. The first Silent Hill, we never got the game. We only ever had the demo. Couldn't get through the demo. It was too scary.
The themes in the Silent Hill games are incredibly adult. So for even for like sort of 14-year-old or something like that. Silent Hill 2, for example, is a man who has killed his own wife. Sorry, spoilers. A man who's killed his own wife traveling to a mysterious place called Silent Hill because he's received a letter from his dead wife saying, "Meet me in Silent Hill at our special place." And he's gone there to find it, and it basically lives through his manifestations of all his guilt and sexual repression. Like it's like so not for 14-year-olds. 14-year-olds don't have the emotional intelligence to deal with the stuff that's going on in Silent Hill. And it's a survival horror game as well as dealing with all that.
Shouldn't worry about
Yeah,
spoiling it, Tom. It's not like they've just re-released it and everyone's playing it again.
Well, exactly.
I
And
mean,
when you start the game, you don't know you've killed your wife. You just
Well, now people do.
dead. Yeah, but now they do. I mean, but again, the game's been out for quite a while.
They've just re-released it. Oh, but it's fine. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
and the only reason I ever got through Resident Evil 4 was because I was playing it with everyone else. I only ever played it when I was round your guys' flat.
What a good game.
It's a great game. Here's Brooke had a couple. E.T.
Ow,
Let's get it out of her.
Sorry.
Basically, his big fingers.
E.T.
E.T.
Yeah, E.T.'s
Big
got-
I
fingers.
actually understand that.
Yeah, I get that. Totally get that. And Yoda. The first time she saw Yoda scared the shit out of her as well. Which I get as well. He's a bit weird looking.
Yeah, strange little frog.
He is, yeah, don't like
I
that.
do understand
yeah.
the scary bit in Star Empire Strikes Back where Vader comes out when he meets Vader in the Dagobah, or the vision of Vader. That was actually pretty scary.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty scary.
I know on our Discord chat, Baz shared the clip of Artak in
Oh
Never
my
Ending.
God.
I'm like, that's more traumatizing. It's not
Like
necessarily
Watership Down.
scary. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause-
the Black Rabbit, the
Yeah.
Black Rabbit of India.
The guy melting in Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And also Holy Grail.
Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
aging
Just
Yeah.
and making that noise as he's doing it.
Yeah.
Actually, also Temple of Doom, Heart Out.
Oh my God, yeah, that was bad as well.
Yeah, I
Actually,
think
all the
it's a bit
Indiana
like-
Jones are terrifying.
Temple of Doom is probably the weakest of the only 3 Indiana Jones movies that exist, but it's
Yeah.
also the scariest.
Yeah.
I've got a controversial opinion that I didn't hate the latest one.
I honestly
I didn't
haven't
hate
seen-
the latest
I haven't
one.
seen the latest
Yeah,
one.
I thought the latest one was quite good.
But
I-
Russ is right. The only Indiana Jones films that we should really ever count are the original 3.
I did have a thought for a podcast where we put trilogies up against each other.
Oh yeah.
And
We
are we
come-
going to count that as the original?
So, like, you could have Star Wars, the original trilogy, versus the prequels versus the sequels as well.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars has now got a trilogy of trilogies. But if you
Yeah.
talk about the Indiana Jones trilogy, nobody's asking you. So do you mean like 4, 5, and 6?
No,
There is no 4, 5, and 6.
Oh,
So
Well,
maybe,
no, there's definitely 3, 4,
maybe
and
we
5,
pick
wouldn't
one trilogy per franchise if we do that. So we'll pick like the original trilogy versus like Lord of the Rings and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyway, this is admin.
And
Yeah, I mean, very good point. Yeah. Any more scary things before we pack up and I head off to a Gridiron Gentleman podcast?
Gremlins.
System
Yeah.
Shock.
First
Well,
Gremlins
yeah.
scary. System Shock was very scary.
Yep, both
Yeah.
of those are very, very scary. I completely
Bioforge
agree.
was scary as well.
Yeah.
And also the control schemes of Bioforge was fucking petrifying as well. It was just tank controls. But yeah, are we good? Shall I wrap this up tighter
Oh,
than...
one more.
Oh, go for it.
Poltergeist. There was no way that I should have been allowed to watch Poltergeist.
No. And the
No.
TV static
Yeah.
never ever meant the same thing after watching Poltergeist.
I got a couple of good ones here, by the way. Vampire Masquerade, the hotel level is fucking well done. Never Any
Bloodlines,
Stories.
Yes.
Artax Dying will always fuck me up. Yep. Original prequels and then nothing. The sequels don't exist. Okay, that's all from Bass. And Dan has said Wurzel Gummidge. Fucking get that
Yeah,
as well. That's
creepy.
scary.
Wurzel Gummidge.
Yeah, he's scary. He ain't right. Something wrong about that.
Okay, fair enough.
John Pertwee in full nonce mode, definitely.
If it had been Sean Pertwee, it would have been even worse.
Sean Pertwee. Yeah, my dad was Doctor Who. Yeah, no, that's some good stuff there. That is good.
Tim Curry, It. Yep. Okay, now it's all
yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Bass, I'm trying to get on a podcast with you, dude.
Tim Curry, legend.
Yeah. Fucking love.
Tim
Spices!
Curry, Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
Tim Curry.
Oh! In a roundabout way, that's reminded me of one more. Crystal Maze, Richard O'Brien, the Crystal Maze.
Yeah, especially the medieval zone.
Yeah, just in general, when he said, Mum's here! Oh my god.
And yeah, especially when you were younger, you weren't like quite sure that those people ever actually got out of there.
Yeah. That was the other thing as well.
Yes, if they got locked in and they were left there forever. Just, the next time in the episode you saw a skeleton in that game, you'd be like, yeah, they died.
I mean, Aliens just remains, because the first Alien movie I ever watched was Aliens. And I was still at primary school. My grandparents weren't, though they were kind of cool, at the same time, probably should have thought not showing someone at the age of 11 face huggers for the first time. That
Yes. There's a brilliant spoof of the making of Alien that I think is still on YouTube, made by someone called, I think his channel's called Monkey and Apple, and it's really funny. His impression of Geiger has him calling them the face fuckers the whole way through. It's just, and the point is, like, when you're a kid, like, I mean, that's what's happening, like, but you don't really get it. You just see people being smothered by it, but he's just constantly like, when I designed the face fuckers, but, they didn't want to call them face fuckers, so we had to call them something else. Anyway,
just quickly, Tom, some slightly good news. They have announced that the main two actors from Alien Romulus have signed on for a sequel.
Andy and Rain.
Yeah.
That's good. I actually really enjoyed Romulus.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
really
it's like you
liked
said,
it.
it's the third best Alien film,
Yeah.
which is not saying a lot.
It's not up against much, but it does
utter
quite a good
detritus.
job still. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. I have to say, I haven't watched
what
Alien.
she said.
Yeah.
It does the job.
It does the job. Title of your sex tape. Anywho, let's wrap this one up tighter than a mummy. Thanks very much for watching. We have really enjoyed talking about some of the stuff that has made us scared as kids, and also some of the stuff that still continues to haunt our minds even up to this day. If you want to join in the conversations and you want to, share with us any of the things that have scared you as a kid or still scare you even today, please do so. Head over to our social media feeds. You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just use the handle @TMTOOH. And if you go to our Instagram bio, you'll find a link to our Discord server where there's all sorts of conversations going on, as the guys have already referenced. Also, don't be afraid to head to our YouTube channel. Just search for Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast, and you'll find our channel. It's the one with the sort of game controller on the purple background, and head to the live tab there and you'll find all of the streams that we've done. But you'll also find all of our stuff on podcatchers like SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. So make sure that we can come in your eyes, we can come in your ears, whichever you like. You can go and do that. So guys, with that, goodbye, Dan.
And I'm going to interrupt you here, Tom. We're actually planning on recording a whatever it is the other one's called. I can't even remember what it's called. That's long ago it was. Not theatrical cut. That was the last one.
Theatrical cut.
Nah, it's like
you
Cinema
were doing
Revisited. Marbling Marvel, and then it became Cinema Cunties or something like that. So like whatever it is, with me, Terry, Steve, and Dan. Sorry, Dan. Are planning on recording something
non-bearded.
Non-bearded Dan are planning on recording something about horror films.
Nice.
Lovely.
So we've watched a lot of horror films this year, so maybe something on all the horror films we've seen this year.
Lovely.
Maybe.
Okay, good. Well, that is good news all round. There's something else to listen to, and as I said, there's all the other stuff that can come in your eyes or come in your ears. So, Dan, goodbye.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Tom. I mean, goodbye.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Okay, bye, Duncan.
I had something else to say and I can't remember. Bye, and thanks, Handies. Bye.
Goodbye, Russ.
Letters, boys.
It's goodbye from me, Tom. Goodbye, Handies. Fuck you, Dan. And on that note, let's cue the music. Matt.